Hello, everyone, and welcome back to One Soccer. I'm your host for today, Josh Deming, joined by my colleague Alex Gonge-Ruzic. And we have a very special guest for today. It is Canadian U20 star Santiago Lopez. Santiago, how you doing today?
Good. And you?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm excited to chat with you, my man. My first question for you is that you recently had the opportunity to represent Canada at the U20 level this year. You gained a lot of recognition around the Canadian soccer community. How special was that opportunity to represent Canada at a major CONCACAF tournament? And were you able to feel the support from the Canadians even though you guys were far away?
Yeah, obviously, I grew up in Canada, so any Canadian soccer fan, uh, his dream is to play for the national team. So it was obviously a huge privilege to play for them, and was super excited to have finally done it at a big tournament like the CONCACAF tournament. And the fans, of course, yeah. Sometimes my teammates, I don't use too much Instagram, but sometimes my teammates will show me. They're like, we just like we had like fun with it, and we would enjoy it because it was big support from them.
Santiago, you mentioned you had the chance to grow up and spend some time in Canada as a youngster. What kind of footballing memories do you have? If I'm not mistaken, Wikipedia says you played for Oakville Youth Club. Do you have any good memories of games? Maybe going to go see some TFC games, Canada games, anything of that sort?
Yeah, yeah. TSC, I won a couple of times. I don't know if I remember well. I think Cruz Azul once played at TFC, so I think I went to that game. And then no pro soccer, yeah. Obviously, I love playing futsal. I think it helped me a lot in terms of playing in short spaces, which I think it's a thing in Mexico that they don't like use a lot. In Canada, they do because of obviously the weather. So futsal, I remember playing futsal, which I loved. And then obviously in Opro soccer, my teammates. I had a teammate right now in the national team, Lazar Stefanovic.
Yep.
His brother played with me, Nem. So I knew him when I was like 8 years old, 8, 9. So it was obviously great memories with him, and it was great to see him.
Now you're playing at a prestigious club right now, like
Mhm.
Pumas. It's a top Mexican side. How's that experience been for you as a youngster making your first steps in the professional game?
Obviously, it's Mexico football is played with like a really big passion, and Pumas is a huge club. Represents the biggest university in Latin America, and it's obviously a lot of pressure. You can feel it, and but it's to play with that pressure. It's like a big way to help you in your development. You grow so much just training with them, being around, and obviously when you get in and play, you grow a lot. You improve a lot.
Santiago, of course, you had the chance to make your first team Pumas debut against Pachuca, which is a big team. We've obviously won some Champions Leagues. What are your memories from that experience? Must have been pretty cool to just be out on the field at home for Pumas as well.
Yeah, it was actually really quick. And usually, young players they go to bench a couple of times and then they finally make their debut. For me, it was like on Wednesday they tell me I'm going with the first team, and then I'm on the bench, and all of a sudden I'm in. So it was really quick and really fast. Obviously, I was super anxious when I was warming up, seeing the fans, my mom, my sister, my family, and then when you get in, it's just like everything, all the noise, everything just clears, and you just play.
Now, I've watched you quite a bit at the U20 level, and honestly, I'm not even sure exactly what your best position is. So I'm curious to kind of ask you about it. I'm wondering how you would describe your game. I mean, I know you've played as a winger,
uh,
a forward, a number 10. What's your favorite position?
uh, it's hard, no, because obviously I think in Pumas I play a different position than with Canada. Um, I play maybe as like a 9, but like as a second striker. I like to play with like maybe a bigger striker, maybe like a postman. And national team was Miles, who was a bit more like a postman. So I have more like liberty to move. But in Pumas, I can also I've worked a lot on getting better at receiving with my back against the goal and being like better at that position is also playing as like a postman. But yeah, I can play like as like a second striker. I really like playing as a second striker, like a 10. And I've also played winger at the youth level, at the 18 to 16. So
I compared you a little bit to like Dybala, Griezmann type of role, like pairing up as that second striker with a big target man. And
yeah,
I like seeing your game like that.
Yeah. Like I really like watching Griezmann, Gabriel Jesus, João Felix. I like watching. So yeah, maybe like a bit like them, but I always try to like grab like the best part of each guy's game.
Of course, with the U20s, we got the chance to see you score some pretty impressive goals. You guys made a good run of the quarterfinals, fell just short in the end. Do you have kind of any favorite goals from that term that stood out? Any favorite memories from that run?
Maybe the first game, no, because it's an unknown. Like how we knew that Honduras have gone to the past World Cup, that they were the second ranked team, so it was like a big unknown of like where we can compete, and I think that day was just like special, no. So maybe the first game against Honduras was like my best memory.
So I kind of thought you were maybe going to say the backheel goal against Panama. Might have been your favorite. Can you walk us through that goal a little bit? I assume you meant it, but I just want to hear it from you.
Yeah, it was like maybe like I at the tactical like the set pieces I would go first post, and obviously we were a man down, we were 1-0. Everybody was really tired. Obviously the games were really back to back, so we knew it was a really big chance. So when Jesse, I think no, it was Greco who faked the shot, and the line stepped up a bit, and I just saw the ball coming at my feet. I don't know. It was more like a reaction. You don't practice that. It just comes out. I don't know how to explain it. It's just like a reaction.
It's
Yeah,
the striker's instincts, you know. It's
yeah,
just one of
exactly.
the brain just shuts off, but in a good way. It's just
Yeah, exactly.
autopilot. I guess as well, you kind of mentioned you know following the Canadian team as a youngster. What do you make of the rise lately? Of course, when you're younger, and certainly for us as well, it's just the idea of Canada playing at a World Cup was foreign. Canada playing at a Copa America, doing well. The last 2 years, we've seen it. Canada goes to World Cup this summer. They go to a Copa America. What's that been like? Just kind of following that rise and seeing what Canada's become as a footballing country.
Yeah, obviously. Well, I live there, so I know the level of the player they have. I think it's really high. I think there's like big talent there, and then like obviously going to a World Cup, being first in the qualifiers for the World Cup is a big statement. But I think the Copa was something else. No, I would talk to teammates here in Mexico, and they would be like, okay, yes, Canada's good, but Mexico and US are at the top. Like there's only two, and obviously being fourth in Copa and almost third, which was penalties were just like a coin toss. Obviously, it's like it's a big statement to get fourth in Copa, and yeah, it's a big statement.
So I'm wondering because I asked Jesse Marsh a question, and I wanted to bring you up. So I asked him about you, and he said that he's been in contact with you. So I'm just curious to see what those conversations been like and what you thought of Jesse Marsh so far.
We haven't had the chance. We texted, but we haven't had the chance to have like a phone call. Obviously, I think he just got back to Toronto or something like that. So he was in Italy. So obviously, a time difference is obviously hard to communicate. No, because I train in the morning when he can talk. I'm training, so it was obviously a challenge. But we've texted, so hopefully we can talk. I'm looking forward to talking to him.
Santiago, I'm kind of curious as well because it's always something fascinating with dual nationals. Of course, you can represent multiple nations. You've played for Mexico's U18s, Canada's U20s, both special occasions. I'm kind of curious, A, how proud are you to have had that chance to represent two strong countries at the youth level and have those different experiences? And I'm also kind of curious, what is it like being a dual national? Because, it can be tough personally when you have different countries, different identities, being Mexican Canadian, but then sometimes in soccer it's so tough because you don't have the chance of that intersectionality. It can be very much you are one or you're the other. How do you kind of balance having the two of them?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course. I think mine's like a bit special, no, because I actually grew up in Canada. I'm not just like my grandpa was Canadian and I never visited Canada. No, I actually like feel Canadian, but I also feel Mexican. No, I feel I love Canada. I loved my time there. I still have friends. I'm super proud to say I'm Canadian and play for the Canadian team. And I was also super proud to represent Mexico when I did, because mostly because of my family, my grandparents, my mom, my dad, my sister. But right now, I'm excited to be with Canada and to represent them.
So how, I guess, special is the prospect of one day playing at the 2026 World Cup, potentially for Canada, potentially Mexico? I'm not sure, considering both are co-hosts. It must be a pretty special moment.
Yeah, yeah. I remember I was still in Canada. I think I was like in grade 5, grade 4, looking at like the news that maybe Canada could be a host, and just like the thought of that. No, it was like exciting, but like at that time it was a dream. No, maybe like a year ago, we'll say I was a dream too, or like 6 months ago, because football is like that. You never know when the opportunity presents itself, and like one day to another, your life can change. So I don't know. I would love to play for the World Cup, but right now I'm just focused on going day by day and improving.
Of course, Santiago, you don't have to answer this. I know how sometimes the Mexican media can be in this regard, but if you want to, is it a goal of yours to represent Canada? Would you say that's the case, or are you just kind of keeping the door open and seeing what the future brings, or is it something like I want to represent Canada and that's a goal of yours?
Yeah, obviously every player's goal is to represent a national team, because it means you're the best of the country. So obviously it's a goal to do it.
So final question for you. You don't have to answer this one either. So I'm just curious to see if you have a favorite Liga MX team, or if you're not allowed to say that because you're playing for Pumas, if your parents did. I know how passionate the fan base is over there, and if if there was maybe a team that your parents supported growing up, or
My dad and my mom really don't like watch soccer.
oh,
Yeah, they don't really watch soccer, and me, obviously, Pumas.
there you go.
I'm a Pumas fan. I'm a Pumas fan.
That's the correct
The
answer.
kids are nice, so that's a good choice.
They are.
Yeah,
All right.
it's super nice.
All right, Santiago. That was all the time for today. I really appreciate it, and best of luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you for having me.